Hey everyone, this is problem 3 from 3.2 examples. Now we're on factored form, so we're given it already as factored. So we're going to find all the different parts and then graph it by hand. You could use Desmos to check your graphs. Make sure you do know how to just find all the parts by hand so you can do quick sketches. So y-intercept, that's always when x equals 0. So say let x equals 0, and then we're going to plug that in to the h function here that we're given. So we have h of 0 equals negative 2 times 0 times x minus 3, so x is 0. Okay, so obviously this is going to go to 0 right there, so don't even need to do any other calculations, but that's going to come up to be 0. So my y-intercept for this function h of x equals negative 2x times quantity x minus 3 is 0, 0. For the x-intercepts, you want to set your h of x equal to 0 and then set each factor equal to 0. So we want to know when negative 2x equals 0. And we need to know when we usually put and or x minus 3 equals 0. So I would have a situation where my x would be 0. Just carrying it up over here. Or my x is going to be 3. Okay, so to write those as points, my x-intercepts, I have 2. They would be 0 and 0. 0, 0. And the other point is x equal to 3 and y is 0, because remember, y is always 0 when we have an x-intercept. Okay, so we have 2 pieces so far for our graph. So that makes it nice because it's already factored for us, so we can get those x-intercepts. Sometimes people see this type of thing and then they want to multiply out, figure out the x-intercepts using the quadratic formula and such, but that's kind of the long way around. That'll get you there, but we don't need to do that. And once we know our intercepts, we can figure out our vertex. We can figure out our axis of symmetry by looking at the midpoint of the x-intercepts. So at any point, too, you can just pause the video and do this one as a classwork. So for the x-intercepts, I had x equal to 0 and x equal to 3. So the midway point, I would add those together and divide by 2. So that would give me 3 halves. That would be my x part of the vertex. To find the y part, I have to plug this value in to my function up here. So then I'm going to be finding h of 3 halves, and we've done this kind of thing before, so you can pause the video and go ahead and work that out. Okay, so I've worked out the calculations for h of 3 halves right here, and you would end up with 9 halves for my y part of the vertex. So I just plugged in the 3 halves everywhere I had x. For here, this 3 halves minus 3 would be 3 halves minus 9 halves, giving me the negative 3 halves. Be careful you don't inadvertently try to distribute this. You can just crunch the numbers and do what's inside the parentheses and then just multiply. So that would be the 9 halves. It's a little hard to plot on the graph. That's where Desmos comes in really nice and handy once you have all the pieces. But what I'm looking for here by hand is to actually not be perfect, so that you can, you know, I know that you did it just on your own, to, you know, that you have the general gist of what it looks like. Just write that out without having to use technology, and that way you just sometimes can just kind of map something out really quickly. So for these parts, the 3 halves would be, let's see, right in here, 1 1/2, that would be my axis of symmetry. Kind of jot that down in there. This would be, although we want to leave it as fraction, it would be 1 1/2. And for the 9, it would be 4 1/2. Or the 9 halves would be 4 1/2. So we can plot those in there. We also want to plot in our x-intercepts. So let me get that in first, the 0, 0. And the 3, 0. And then I also have my y-intercept is also 0, 0. And my 3 halves for x is my axis of symmetry. And then the top part of the vertex would be 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2, right about there. Okay, and it opens down. If you like, you can get a couple other points, just, you know, if you want to have it look prettier. That's a little pointy, but just kind of making a basic sketch there. All right, so I hope that helps, just to give you a good refresher on graphing quadratics and some quick ways to do that. And just so you can kind of get the big picture, especially when we're doing word problems. So have a great day.